to continue reading. This reading out loud is to learn and improve English reading skill and to educate the Buddha's teaching via the Buddha Dasa Bhikkhu's book titled Handbook for Mankind. I may be read unclear or not correct pronunciation or stress on each word. By the way, I try my best to read out loud based on my self-learning background and my own action. Let's get started. คอมมันเป็นอะไรไม่รู้มันไม่มีอยู่คอม Wi-Fi มันมีสัญญาณแต่มันเน็ตมันไม่ขึ้นpage number 89 benefits themselves since they act out of selfishness. By contrast, the deeds of arahants are entirely selfless and so are perfectly pure. In desiring to get and be, one is acting quite inappropriately. One is mistaking evil for good, not knowing what is what. Let us all then go about things intelligently, always bearing in mind that in reality, nothing is worth getting or being. Nothing is worth becoming infatuated with. Nothing is worth clinging to. Let us act in a manner in keeping with the knowledge that things are by their very nature not worth getting or being. If we do, we have to become involved in things, then let us go about it the right way, acting appropriately. This is the way to keep the mind always pure, unobscured, tranquil, and cool. It allows us to become involved in the world, in things, without doing ourselves any harm in the process. When the ordinary worldly man hears that nothing is worth getting or being, he is not convinced. He doesn't believe it. But anyone who understands the real meaning of this statement becomes emboldened and cheered by it. His mind becomes master of things and independent of them. He becomes capable of going after things sure in the knowledge that he will not become enslaved by them. His actions are not motivated by desire, and he is not so dry with passion that he comes to be a slave to things. In getting anything or being anything, let us always be aware that we are getting or being something which in terms of absolute truth we cannot get or be at all, because there is nothing that we can really get or be as we might wish. All things are transient and unsatisfactory and can never belong to us, and yet we go foolishly ahead, grasping at them and craving for them. In other words, we act inappropriately or in a way which does not accord with the true nature of things. Simply because we become involved in them while ignorant of their true nature. The result is bound to be all manner of suffering and trouble. The reason a person is incapable of doing his job perfectly, faultlessly, is that he is always far too concerned with getting something and being something, always motivated master of himself, and cannot be consistently good, honest, and fair. In every case of failure and ruin, the root cause is slavery to desire. To come to know the true nature of things is the true objective of every Buddhist. It is the means by which we can liberate ourselves, regardless of whether we are hoping for worldly benefits such as wealth, position, and fame, or for benefits in the next world such as heaven, or for supra-mundane benefit. The fruit of path nirvana, whatever we are hoping for, the only way to achieve it is by means of this right knowledge and insight. We thrive on insight. In the text, it is said that we may become purified through insight and not by any other means. Our path to freedom lies in having the insight, the clear vision that in all things there neither is nor has ever been anything at all that is worth grasping at or clinging to, worth getting or being, worth risking life and limb for. We have things and are things only in terms of worldly, relative truth. In worldly language, we say we are this or that just because in any society it is expedient to recognize by names and occupations, but we mustn't go believing that we really are this or that, as is assumed at the level of relative truth. To do so is to behave like the crickets, which, when their faces become covered with dirt, become disoriented and muddled, and proceed to bite each other until they die. We humans, when our faces become too covered in dirt, when we are subject to all sorts of delusions, become so divided and disoriented that we do things no human being could ever do under ordinary circumstances, killing, for instance. So let us not go blindly clinging to relative truths. Rather, let us be aware that they are just relative truths, essential in a society, but nothing more. We have to be aware of what this body and mind really is, what its true nature is. In particular, we have to be aware of its impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-selfhood, and make sure we always remain independent of it. As for the wealth, position, and so on, which we can't do without, let us regard these two as relative truths, so that we can break free from the existing custom of saying, for instance, this belongs to so and so, that belongs to such and such. The law watches over ownership rights for us. There is no need for us to cling to the idea of mine. We ought to possess things purely and simply for the sake of convenience and ease, and not so that they can be master over our minds. When we have this clear knowledge, things will become our servants and slaves, and we shall remain on top of them. If our thoughts go the way of craving and attachment, so that we become conscious of having such and such, and being so and so. Clinging firmly to these ideas, things will get on top of us, and we shall be the servants and slaves under their control. Instead, the table can quite easily be turned in this way. So we have to be careful. We have to arrange things in such a way that we are sure for staying independent and on top of things. If we don't, we may find ourselves in a most pitiable position and feel very sorry for ourselves indeed. When we have really come to perceive clearly that nothing is worth getting or being. This enchantment develops in proportion to the intensity of the insight. It is a sign that the clinging has become less firm and is starting to give way. It is a sign that we have been slaves for so long that the idea of trying to escape has at last occurred to us. This is the onset of disenchantment and disillusionment. When one becomes fed up with one's own stupidity in grasping at and clinging to things, believing things to be worth having and being. As soon as this enchantment has set in, there is bound to come about a natural, automatic process of disentanglement, as if a rope with which one had been tightly bound were being untied. Or a rinsing out, as when the dye that had been firmly fixed in a piece of cloth is washed out by soaking it in the appropriate substances. This process, whereby clinging is a way to breaking free from our dissolving out from the world or from the objects of that clinging, was called by the Buddha emancipation. This state is most important, though not the final stage. It is a most important step towards complete liberation. When one was broken free to this extent, complete liberation from suffering is assured. Once broken free from slavery, one need never again be slave to the world. One become pure and uncontaminated, whereas previously one was defiled in every way. To be enslaved to things is to be defiled in body, speech, and thought. To break free from slavery through the delightful taste of the world is to achieve the pure condition and never be defiled again. This real purity, once it has been attained, will give rise to a genuine calm and coolness free from all turbulence, strife, and torment. This state of freedom from oppression and turbulence was called by the Buddha simply peace, Santi. That is, the stillness, coolness in all situations, which is virtually the same thing as nirvana. Nirvana has been translated as absence of any instrument of torture. Taken another way, it means extinction without remainder. So the word nirvana has two very important meanings. Firstly, absence of any sort of torment and burning, freedom from all forms of bondage and constraint, and secondly, extinction with no fear for the further arising of suffering. The combination of these meanings indicates a condition of complete freedom from suffering. There are several other useful meanings for the word nirvana. It can be taken to mean the extinction of suffering or the complete elimination of defilements, or the state realm or condition that is the cessation of all suffering, all defilements, and all karmic activity. Though the word nirvana is used by numerous different sects, the sense in which they use it is often not the same at all. For instance, one group takes it to mean simply calm and coolness because they identify nirvana with deep concentration. Other groups even consider total absorption in sensuality as nirvana. The Buddha defined nirvana as simply that condition of freedom from bondage torment and suffering, which results from seeing the true nature of the worldly condition and all things, and so being able to give up or clinging to them. It is essential then that we recognize the very great value of insight into the true nature of things and endeavor to cultivate this insight พยายามนะ อุตสาหะ to cultivate this insight by one means or another. Using one method, we simply encourage it to come about of its own accord. Naturally, by developing day and night the joy that results from mental purifying, until the qualities we have described gradually come about. The other method consists in developing mental power by following an organized system of concentration and insight practice. This latter technique is appropriate for people with a certain kind of disposition who may make rapid progress with it if conditions are right. But we can practice the development of insight by the nature method in all circumstances and all time and at all times, just by making our own way of daily living so pure and honest that there arise in succession spiritual joy. Joy. Calm. Joy คือปิติ and pamoda. Calm ปัสสัทธิ insight into the true nature of things. ยาวไป This enchantment, withdrawal, escape, purification from defilement, and then peace or nirvana, and coolness, so that we come to get a taste of freedom from suffering steadily, naturally, day by day, month by month, year by year, gradually approaching closer and closer to nirvana. Summing up, natural concentration and insight which enable a people to attain the path and the fruit consist in verifying all day and every day the truth of the statement that nothing is worth getting or being. Anyone who wishes to get this result must strive to purify himself and to develop exemplary personal qualities so that he can find perpetual spiritual joy in work and leisure, that very joy induces clarifying and freshness, mental calm and stillness, and serves naturally and automatically to give the mind ability to think and introspect with the insight that nothing is worth getting or being constantly present. The mind loses all desire for the things it once used to grasp and cling to. It is able to break free from the things it used to regard as me and mine, and all blind craving for things ceases. Suffering, which no longer has anywhere to lodge, dwindle, the divider, the divine, right away, and the job of eliminating suffering is done. This is the reward, and it can be gained by any one of us. Any one of us. Page number 96. Insight by organized training. 8. Now, we shall deal with the organized systems of insight training, which were not taught by the Buddha, but were developed by later teachers. This kind of practice is suitable for people at a fairly undeveloped stage, who still cannot perceive the unsatisfactoriness of worldly existence with their own eyes. Naturally, this doesn't mean, however, that the results obtained by these systems have any special qualities not obtainable by the method, because when we examine the Pitaka closely, we find the nature method is the only one mentioned. Some people consider, however, that natural insight can be developed only by someone who has become so remarkably virtuous, or has such a suitable disposition that for him to come to a full understanding of things is just child's play. What is a person to do who lacks transcendent virtues and the appropriate disposition? For such people, teachers laid down ordered systems of practice, concise courses which start from scratch and have to be followed through thoroughly and systematically. This system of practice for developing insight are now known by the technical term Vipassana Dhura. Vipassana Dhura is contrasted with study, the two being considered nowadays complementary aspects of training. Vipassana Dhura is study done within. It is strictly mental training, having nothing to do with textbooks. Neither the term study nor Vipassana Dhura is mentioned in the Pitaka, both appearing only in later books, but Vipassana Dhura is nevertheless a genuine Buddhist practice designed for people intent on eliminating suffering. It is based directly on sustained, concentrated introspection in order to explain Vipassana to people. Teachers in former ages considered it in terms of the following questions. What is the basis, the foundation of Vipassana? What are the characteristics by which we may know that this is Vipassana? Judge, what is the activity called Vipassana? What should be the ultimate result of Vipassana? Asked, what is the basis, the foundation of Vipassana? The answer, morality and concentration. Vipassana means clear insight and refers to the unobscured vision that may arise when a person's mind is full of joy and devoid of any defilement. Joy develops when there is moral purity. Morality is a prerequisite. Morality is a prerequisite. This is stated in the text, where the practice is described as proceeding in a series of stages called the 7 purifications and culminating in the path and the fruit. Teachers regard the attainment of moral purity as the first of the 7 purifications. It consists of faultless behavior and is prerequisite to purification of the mind. Purification of the mind achieved when the mind has been rendered free of any achieved when the mind has been rendered free of any contamination, is conducive to purification of views, or freedom from misunderstanding. Freedom from misunderstanding leads to purifies by freedom from doubt. And this conduces in its turn to the arising of purity by knowledge and vision of what is the true path to be followed and what is not the path. This knowledge of the path to be followed leads to the purity by knowledge and vision of the progress along the path. This finally leads to the last stage of full intuitive insight or purity of knowledge and vision, which is the perfection of the very noble path, because the fruit of the path arises automatically once the path is established. The attainment of the path is regarded as the culmination of the practice. Moral purity is faultless behavior by way of body and speech. As long as any imperfection in body or speech remains, morality in the true sense is lacking. When it has been perfected, that is, when tranquility of bodily activities and speech has been achieved, the result is bound to be mental tranquility, conducive in its turn to the further stages of purification, freedom from misunderstanding, freedom from doubt, knowledge as to what is the path to be followed and what is not, knowledge and vision of the progress along the path, and finally full intuitive insight. These last 5 stages constitute vipassana proper, purification of conduct and mind are merely the entrance into the path of vipassana. Page number 99. The 7 purifications, the 5 stages in vipassana, and the 9 steps in the perfection of knowledge. Moral purity, mental purity, freedom from false views, freedom from doubt, knowledge and vision of what is the true path, knowledge and vision of the progress along the path, knowledge of arising and passing away, knowledge of passing away, awareness of fearsomeness, awareness of danger, disenchantment, desire for freedom, struggle to escape, imperturbability, readiness to perceive the Four Noble Truths, full intuitive insight, the purification consisting of freedom from misunderstanding implies the elimination of all false views, both inborn and acquired. It covers the whole range from original belief in magic to false ideas as to the true nature of things. For instance, regarding this body and mind as something enduring, something worthwhile, a self, seeing it as animal, human being, celestial being, or God, or as something magical, or sacred, succeed, failing to perceive that it consists of just the 4 elements, or of just body plus mind, and regarding it instead as a self, as possessing a soul or a spirit, which enters and leaves it, failing to see it as consisting of the 5 aggregates of the 5 aggregates: body, feeling, perception, active, thinking, and consciousness, failing to see it as just a mass of perceptions received by way of the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. False views lead to belief in a magic and sacred objects, and to give rise to fear. Rites and rituals are then performed to neutralize the fear, and the end result is firm attachment to rites and rituals, all on account of false views. Such a situation indicates views that are not as yet faultless. To have given up false views is to have attained what was originally called the third purification, and what later teachers class the first stage in Vipassana. The purification consisting of freedom from doubt is brought about by introspection into causes. With freedom from false views, one sees oneself as just body plus mind. Freedom from doubt consists in perceiving the nature of causes responsible for the coming into existing of the body-mind complex. One sees penetratingly and in fine detail the coming into existence and the interaction of ignorance, desire, grasping, and clinging karma, nutriment, and so on. To form body and mind, freedom from doubt results simply from this clear knowledge of the causes and effects of all things. In the Vipassana system, teachers recognize 20 or 30 kinds of doubt, but summed up, they all amount to doubt as to whether or not oneself exists, whether or not oneself existed previously, whether or not oneself will continue to exist in the future, and if so, in what form. The only way doubt can be completely dispelled is to realize that there is no I, but only elements, aggregates, a nervous system together with such causes as ignorance, craving and attachment, karma, nutriment, and so on, because no real I is involved at all. One starts giving up the foolish idea. I am, I have been, I shall be, with the complete eradication of doubt, The second stage in Vipassana has been achieved. This does not mean that the I concept has been given up for good. 5. vestiges, vestiges are vestige are still present, still present, still present, still present, are still present. Sorry, present, still present, American, are still present, now, still present. Adequate understanding of the mode of interaction of causes has resulted in the dispelling of doubt and has made it possible to give up the idea of I in its closest form. When doubt has been transcended, it becomes possible to bring about the purification consisting of perfect knowledge as to what is the right path to follow and what is not. There exist several obstacles to this further progress, which usually arise in the course of vipassana practice, while the mind is in a concentrated state. There are likely to arise various strange phenomena with which the meditator may become overawed, such as wonderful impressive auras seen in the mind's eye, the physical eyes being shut. If these effects are purposely encouraged, they can become highly developed. And if the meditator jumps to the conclusion that this is the fruit of vipassana practice, or congratulates himself saying, this is something supernatural, this will do me, and the like, the arising of this phenomena is liable to bar the way to the true path and fruit. Consequently, teachers consider it a side track, a bright alley, Another example is the arising of feelings of joy and contentment, which continually overflow the mind to such an extent that it becomes incapable of any further introspection, or jumps to the conclusion that this is nirvana, right here and now, so that the way becomes blocked and further progress is impossible. This is another obstruction to insight. Teachers say, furthermore, that even insight into the nature of body and mind may sometimes lead to self-satisfaction and the delusion that the meditator has a remarkable degree of spiritual insight, so that he becomes overconfident. This too is an obstacle to progress in vipassana. Occasionally, the meditator may make use the mental power he has developed to make his body go rigid, with the result that he loses the awareness necessary for further introspection. This is a stubborn obstacle in the path to further progress, yet meditators usually approve of it, regarding it as a supernatural faculty, or even as the fruit of the path. Anyone who becomes so pleased with and infatuated by the attainment of deep concentration, desisting with body rigid and devoid of all sensation, that he is unable to progress further in vipassana, is in a most pitiable position. Another condition that may very easily come about is a blissful rapture, the like of which the meditator has never encountered before. Once arising, it induces wonder and amazement and unjustified self-satisfaction. While the rapture lasts, the body and the mind experience extreme bliss, and all problems vanish. Things that formerly were like and dislike no longer when recalled to mind. Things the meditator had formerly feared and dreaded, or worried and fretted over, no longer induce those reactions, so that he gets the false idea that he has already attained liberation, freedom from all defilements, because for as long as he is in that condition, he has all the characteristics of a genuinely perfected individual. Should satisfaction arise with respect to this condition, it acts as an obstacle to further progress in vipassana, and in time the condition will fade away, so that things formerly disliked will be linked, and disliked will be liked or disliked again, just as before, or even more so. Yet another kind of obstacle involves faith. Faith or confidence never felt before becomes firmly established. For example, confidence is the threefold gem, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, พระพุทธพระธรรมพระสงฆ์ or in theories, the meditator thinks out for himself. There may even come about a most intense satisfaction in Dhamma. The ability to remain unmoved by anything becomes so strongly developed that it may even delude the meditator into believing he has already attained the fruit of the path and nirvana itself. These things are a great difficulty for anyone encountering them for the first time. As you can see, they constitute a barrier in the way of vipassana. The meditator, however, is likely to regard them as highly desirable until such a time as he develops the unobscured knowledge that these things are in fact obstacles and succeeds in cutting out this final defiance completely. This knowledge of what is the right path and what is not constitutes the third step in vipassana and the fifth purification. Until such time as the aspirant has developed this knowledge of what really constitutes the right path, he has to be always steering himself away from the various side tracks. Once this knowledge of the path to be followed has become fully established, however, any further knowledge will automatically develop along the right line. It will progress step by step, bringing perfectly clear understanding of the true nature of things and ultimately perfect freedom from and uninvolvement in things. The mind equipped with this right understanding is all set to attain insight into the Four Noble Truths and is said to have attained the purifying. Is said to have attained the purity by knowledge and vision of the progress along the path. This is counted as the fourth stage in vipassana and the sixth purification. The Tipitaka contains no detailed explanation of the stages in this knowledge and vision of the progress along the path, but later teachers recognized in its mind, in its 9 steps as follows. A. Vipassana has progressed properly, and the birth, aging, pain, and death of phenomena have been thoroughly scrutinized. The arising and passing away of phenomena has been perceived in all the clarity. All phenomenon existence is seen to consist of just an endless progress of arising and ceasing, like the glittering dazzle on the surface of the sea, or like the forming and bursting of the foamy cliffs of waves. This is known as knowledge of arising and passing away. It is brought about by concentrated introspection, so clear and sustained for so long a time that the knowledge becomes firmly established, like a dye absorbed by the mind, powerful enough to make the meditator become disenchanted with things and give up clinging to them. This is the first step in the knowledge and vision of the progress along the path. B. Arising and passing away, if observed simultaneously, cannot be perceived with such clarity as they can either one is concentrated or separately. At this stage, the meditator keeps up watching one of the two, namely arising, and concentrates exclusively on the passing away. This permits him to see the process of disintegration and decay in such depth and intensity that he comes to realize that decay and perishing are universally evident, no matter where in the world one looks. My dwelling in this knowledge is said to be equipped with knowledge of decay and dissolution. This is the second step in the development of knowledge. C. Knowledge of decay and dissolution, when sufficiently well developed, gives rise next to the awareness that all things are to be feared, or phenomenal existence, whether in the sensual realm, in the form realm, or in the formless realm, is seen as inherently fearsome. All spheres of existence are seen as thoroughly fearsome because the decay and dissolution of all phenomena is perceived in every conscious moment. Thus, an intense apprehension arises in the mind of one possessing this awareness and becomes accepted as a genuine fear. This awareness sees nothing but fearsomeness, like a poison or deadly weapons. All vicious, armed bandits, completely fueling the three spheres of phenomenon existing, nothing but fearsomeness. This awareness of the fearsomeness of all phenomenon existence is reckoned as the third step. When awareness of the completely fearsome nature of all phenomenon existence has been fully developed, there will arise in its turn awareness that all things are inherently dangerous. To become enfolded in things is not safe. They are like a forest full of the dangerous. Until 106. Until page number 106. Have a good lunch. Have a good lunch. Thank you so much for reading out loud. I have to list up some unclear pronunciation. Example, Riam. So many words. Thoroughly. Have lunch.